Hi everyone, I'm Jackie. Welcome to my channel, Cherished Memories Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to make these adorable little angel Christmas tree ornaments. I love the wings. I made two different kinds of halos. This one stands up off the head, and this one lays flat on the head. And if you don't have bow wire, you can use regular yarn. I got this bow wire, 100 yards for $6 or $7 at walmart.com. And I'll set all this off to the side. And we're going to start with the loop. I'm using a 5mm hook for the angel, and for the halo I used a 3.125. And the angel itself is about 4 inches in length, 4 inches wide. So once you get your 20 chains, you're going to chain one more, pull your yarn, and leave a tail on both sides. Bring it through. Now we're going to take both ends, we're going to tie it together. Just like that. Now we'll set it off. I didn't get mine very tight there. We're going to set it off to the side. Now we're going to start the face. And do a slip knot. We're going to chain 2. And go right back into that first one and do a slip stitch. Now we're going to chain 3. And we're going to go right back in there and do 11 double crochets. So you'll have a total of 12. Because that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And go ahead and finish all 12. And I'll meet you back at the end of the circle. Okay, I've got my 12 double crochets. If you want, you can pull that yarn to make your circle tighter. And now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 there. Chain 1, pull your yarn, and cut it off. And you can weave in your ends later. This one here, though, you can go ahead and just cut it. And we'll lay that over to the side. Now we're going to start on the body. And we're going to do the same thing at this, like we did at the start of the face. Just slip knot, chain 2, slip stitch into that first chain there. And my yarn got caught. Let me start over. Okay, chain 2, do a slip stitch into that first one. Now chain 3, and go ahead and do 11 more double crochets in that circle. And you'll have a total of 12 double crochets, counting your chain 3, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I've got my 12 double crochets. We're going to join in the top of that chain 3, just like that. Now we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to go right back into that same stitch and do one more double crochet. And in the next one, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So you're going to do 2 double crochets in each stitch. And at the end of the round, you should have 24 double crochets. And I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, I'm at the end of round 2. We're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now we're starting row 3. We're going to chain 3. And now we're going to go right back in that same stitch, do another double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're only going to do 1 double crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And then the next one, 1 double crochet. So the pattern for row 3 is 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet. And just continue that until you get to the end of row 3, and I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end of my round. You should have 36 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now we're going to chain 1, pull our yarn, and you're going to want to maybe have like a 4-inch tail. Just pull it through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to have this right in the middle there. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the top 2 stitches, go through both loops like that. Take the tail and just bring it through just like that. So we're just going to slip stitch and we're going to go into the next 2 loops on each side and pull it through, make a slip stitch. And we're going to continue this, not quite to the center. Just make sure you kind of even them up there. And when we get almost to the center, we'll check and see how far down we are. And I didn't make my tail long enough. Okay. So now I'm just going to pull it through because I made mine a little bit short, but I think I had enough because I like it to, yeah, I did have enough. I like to stop when it's just, I might have had too much. I'm going to take one out. Right above where you did your 12 double crochets to begin with, like that. So yeah, so now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go over here, go in that stitch and bring it under. It's like that. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to go find a loop somewhere. And I'm going to tie it. So yeah, make sure you make your tail long enough to do all this. It just makes it easier. Okay, I'm going to make a knot. Then I can weave it in a little bit. And then you can cut your tail. And you can cut this one back here too. Okay. Kind of shape it up. So now we're going to do the trim. You can do it 2 different ways. I did it and just did the back of it, and then it looks like this. You can't really see the trim here. This one I did it where I started out doing the back, and then I flipped it and started doing it on the front. And I'll do this version. If you want this version, just don't flip it when I flip it. And I'm hoping to get this all in one video. If not, if it cuts me off, I will continue it in part 2. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. So what you're going to want to do is go up here and attach it. Just find you a space. Tie your yarn. Just like that. Now go back in that same space. Pull up a loop. Just like that. And you know what? I'm going to put you on pause and I'm going to fix that. I needed to go through 2 loops. And I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm back. I fixed the problem. I just didn't, when I tied it off, I didn't tighten it enough. So this looks much better. So just go in the top there. Make sure you get both loops. Pull your yarn through, tie it, just like that. I'll go back through that same loop, bring up a loop. Okay, now we're going to go over to our next stitch right there. And we're going to bring up a loop and then go through that first loop. We're just going to slip stitch, just like this. Insert your hook, bring up a loop, pull it through, and then go through the one on your hook. We're going to continue this all the way to the bottom where it starts to curve. Just like that. And I'm going to check, make sure that's where I want to flip it. Okay. I think I'll take one loop out. Okay, so you can just continue doing like I'm doing right now, and it will look like this. This is the first angel I made, and I didn't like that as well. I wanted it to show here too. So how you do that is, okay, so we're working on the outside. We want to get to the inside. So we're going to take that yarn and we're going to bring it up under the hook like that. Let's see. Okay. So now go up. Well, can't get my yarn. Okay. Now we're going to take our hook, and instead of coming and continuing like this, we're going to take it and we're going to go into the next one on this side. And now our yarn is facing down like that. So now we're going to yarn over. Well, and then bring it through. That first one is kind of hard to get it going. Okay, there we got it. And it's harder when you're doing it on video too. Okay, now we're going to stay on this side, go through the next two. Make sure you get those two loops and bring it through. And just do the same thing, slip stitch to the other side. I didn't do mine tight enough, but like I said, it's harder doing it on video. And see how you have the line, it switched itself. So now you're going to take it. And it might take a couple times for you to get it, the knack of it. I still have to think about it when I start it. And I've done millions of these little things. And just keep going until you get to the where it starts to curve. And there we go. Had I knot my yarn. Not quite far enough. And there's no certain amount, just whatever you prefer. I like to get it right when it starts. I'll do one more. Okay, so now I want it back on the outside. So I'm going to take my yarn, pull it up underneath, and instead of going in this way, I'm going to switch it up and go in that way. Make sure you get both loops there. Well, hold on. Okay. Put my yarn over there. See, I still have to think. And we're going to go in the back side, yarn over, and pull it through. So in this part, you're going through the back side. And then when you get down here, you're going to go on the front side. And then when you get over here, you're going to work again from the back side. And just continue the circle. I hope all that made sense to you. Okay, we're getting to the beginning here. And we're going to go in that last one. My tail is getting in my way. And this right here should really be tighter. I just didn't get it tight enough on this one. Okay. But you can still see what I'm doing. Okay, so I went in that last one. Now here's our first one right here. Let's go in the middle of it and do a slip knot there. Or slip stitch, I'm sorry. So we went into the very first one. Now we're going to pull our yarn, cut it, pull it through like that. So now we're going to turn it over and we're going to go into that next one, go right in the center of it. And then we're going to yarn over, we're going to pull that tail right through the bottom of that. So it looks like that. Pull it so it looks okay. And then you're going to try to get it up, back up to the other tail. This is when the tapestry needle is better. It's smaller. Okay, so I went up one. It's like that. Now we're going to tie it. Just like that. So now what I do is I'll go into the top and I'll just get these tails and pull it through. Get the other one and pull it through. Because where's the little head at? What I do is I use my my glue gun and I'll hot glue it just like that. You can go ahead and leave a tail and when this tail here and just tie it on with that, but I like to use my glue gun just like that. And then you can make this a little bit shorter and just, you know, the head hides it like that. So now let's see, what do we have? Now we need to do the wings. So we'll set all this aside like that. Let's see, let me get my white. Okay. So now we're going to make a slip knot. We're going to chain 2. Slip stitch into that first one. And chain 3. And just like in the other ones, we're going to do 11 more double crochets here. That chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And I'll meet you at the end and I'll have 12 double crochets. Okay, I'm back. I've got my 12 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch to the very top of that chain 3. Just like that. And I'm going to cut this video off because I'm not going to have enough time on here. And I'm going to make a part 2. And we're going to continue the wings. And then I'm going to show you how to do the halos. So I'll see you in part 2.